Blacksad is a point and click that checks a lot of the Telltale Games boxes, including good and bad. You play as John Blacksad, a freelance detective catman investigating a mysterious suicide. The game is set in quite a gritty New York. It doesn't shy away from themes such as sex, swearing, and racism. I found that it was done in tasteful ways that progressed the story or developed characters, which made the world feel a lot more real.
Dunn wasn't black, but he allowed you and Bobby Yale to train here.
Yeah, this was the first integrated gym in the city, I think.
The actual gameplay consists of exploration and dialogue sections. During exploration, you can move around to different locations that pertain to the investigation. You have to keep an eye open because objects of interest are only interactable when you're really close to them, which I appreciated since that minimizes hand-holding. You can also engage in dialogue with suspects or possible witnesses. The game gives you multiple possible answers when talking to people, and interestingly, you can even stay silent as an option.
Feeling any better?
Yeah, I guess. Thanks.
I found that the game did a really good job at making my choices have weight. There are callbacks to things you did throughout the game, and your relationship with individual characters is remembered. Occasionally, you'll be able to use your cat senses during discussion, which pauses time and allows Blacksad to use his keen sense of sight, smell, or hearing to gather new info that can be used in the conversation. I really like that you could always consult your journal on everything you've learned so far. The game does a really good job at keeping notes for you. Once you've gathered enough clues, the game will let you know that there are new possible deductions to make. If you go to the appropriate screen, you can try to connect 2 or 3 clues together to understand something further. This will then open up new interactions or dialogue options with relevant characters. I personally found all of these investigation mechanics to be really well done and rewarding. However, I did occasionally get frustrated at the game moving on from a scene before I got the chance to exhaust all dialogue options or check the perimeter fully.
I'm certain she can give me the kind of information that...
Hey! Watch where you're going, you jerk!
You'll sometimes get into fights or moments where you need to react fast. In these situations, the game will give you a quick time event where you'll need to either press a button quickly or mash a button for a few seconds. I know a lot of people aren't fans of these, and usually I'm not either, but I didn't think the game did it badly. They were relatively rare, easy to perform, and didn't last very long. The game isn't built for a combat system, so this way you get a fun fight scene with a bit of interaction. There's actually a stats page that keeps track of everything you do as Blacksad. This includes failed QTEs as well as your choices in dialogue. I thought it was a fun little detail that further made me feel like my choices were being recognized. Now onto the minor issues I had with the game. On PC, I had to play the game locked to 30 FPS, and no mouse support made navigating menus very tedious and interacting with the game's environment a bit cumbersome. These issues definitely didn't ruin the game for me, but I would hope that they're patched out quickly to improve quality of life. I did after all play this game before release. I mentioned earlier that the game had bad elements from Telltale Games. Well, those include awkward pacing in between some dialogue lines where characters just kind of stare at each other in silence for a few seconds. Sometimes sound effects are missing from certain cutscene actions, and lip sync is pretty bad.
This'll help you change your mind.
Desmond.
These do draw you out a bit, but I found the story and world compelling enough that these gripes didn't affect me too much. On top of that, I should say that apart from the mouths, the animations in the games are really quite pleasant to look at. Characters' eyes are expressive and fight scenes do feel impactful. I also deeply enjoyed the soundtrack. It comprises of blues and jazz, and they just help fulfill that noir detective atmosphere you're trying to immerse yourself into. The voice acting and writing is well done, and I really enjoyed talking to all of the characters in the game because of it. Overall, I really loved the game. The silly yet dark world was refreshing to see in a game, and I found the story kept me wondering about my investigation. Despite the game being slightly rough around the edges, there's really a fun experience to be had, so I highly recommend it if it sounds like something for you.
You look tired, John.
I can't help it. It's just the way we cats are.
If you found the video useful, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.